What is up, everyone? We're back after a short break, and if you can remember, today's video is not going to be long. Not too long ago, I issued a video where I talked about having coffee with strangers or locals or Singaporeans. We issued that challenge, and the response for the most part has been good. I think there were a few folks that felt that that was a bit weird, or maybe it was a bit aggressive, but I don't think it was aggressive. I think it's a good way to get to know people by opening yourself up to having conversation. And so since then, I've had several people schedule, but Bob was my first. Shout out to Bob, I think, person to book, and we had a good time. We had a good time last night. We ended up going to the Geylang district near here, where it's Ramadan here, right? And so there's a bazaar that Bob was gracious enough to take me to. And yeah, why don't I just share my screen? So this is Bob. Bob works in IT. Been here in Singapore for quite some time. As you can see, really good dude. We did sample taste testing of some of the local dishes here. There was a fruit salad there, and there was some sort of beef, which is kind of like beef jerky that I had. The Malay dish, which is, I think the Chinese word is otah. Maybe fish isn't my biggest strong suit, but again, it was a good experience. It was very festive. It was lively out there. Had a good time. This is Bob right here. This is actually the bazaar where we are. Uh, as you can see, there are neon lights and everything. So yeah, it was a good time. It wasn't too crowded. I think on the weekends it gets a little bit more crowded, and I'm gonna bring the family uh, back out there. But I wanted you guys to see it, and yeah, I think what I enjoyed for the most part, I would have loved to have caught some of this on film. But if you've seen some of my other videos, I talk about how to be present and be in the moment. And I felt that a camera would just been too disruptive, right? Bob was a good dude. We had a lot of conversation about different cultural things in terms of our background. We learned a few new things, I think, about each other and about certain terms that take place in certain cultures, like code switching, right? Code switching means something a bit different where I'm from, as opposed to Bob code switching, where he wasn't using Singlish with me as much, just so it's easier for me to understand. But I think with conversations like this, I think there was a point in the conversation where he felt that he's like, hey, I feel like I learned something new in this conversation. I think that at the heart of why I wanted to do this challenge and the heart of why I'm doing it is for selfish reasons. I just want to know more about the area. I want to know more about Greater Asia, right? But it's also for the idea behind authentic and true cultural exchange, right? And the best way to do that, the best way to engage in that is through proximity, right? You can post all you want to on social media. You can do all these blogs and lives and these influencer videos, right? But unless you're out amongst people and opening yourself up to different modes of conversations, to me, it's not quite as effective, right? So I think it can be daunting for some folks to say, hey, have coffee with a stranger, someone that you don't know that you met on the internet. But I feel that the type of person that watches my content and gets, what I'm about. What you see is what you get, right? And I hope that Bob feels that way, right? I'm not just an act that I put on for these videos. And the best way to see that and the best way to truly authentically learn it is to break bread with someone and just to have a good old fashioned face to face conversation, which is what we had. Time flew. I think we stayed out for a couple hours, but it was a great experience. I will be taking my family back to that area, but that won't be the last conversation. I think I got a couple more conversations booked on Friday, and so we'll update you folks on that. But big shout out to those that have booked and taken the time to open themselves up to this experience and let this old American kind of come in and just really make a declaration, and just thanks for sitting down and breaking bread with me. I think this is going to be a phenomenal challenge. I'm going to continue to do videos on this. I'm going to continue to open myself up to where people can look at my calendar booking and book some time with me. If not for the sheer purpose of, I'm not saying that you're going to learn anything or it's going to be transformative or life changing, but if you want to talk to another human being that's open, honest, humble, and curious, and maybe learn something new, both ways, and have the conversation be both ways, I think feel free to book some time. I'm looking forward to meeting more of you. And yeah, Bob, big shout out to you. Thanks for being the first. You certainly won't be the last. Thanks so much, guys. See you soon.